Yes, welcome along to episode 10 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. And there's only 9 weeks to go, Gavin. 9 weeks until the Supreme Novices Hurdle.
Kicks
now,
off, yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush, right? Are we going to have Irish horse at Cheltenham? Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's worried about it. This is a Cheltenham show. People are backing Irish trained horses. We've tipped Irish trained horses. Gavin Lynch, are Irish horses going to be running at Cheltenham?
Yes.
Okay.
Simple as that. I think they will. I think that if you do back a horse with a bookmaker who's Irish and he doesn't end up getting it, I think they'll pay you back because there has to be some goodwill in this game.
Yeah, but let's take money out of this just for the occasion. Yeah. We want Irish trained horses.
We definitely do, yeah. It wouldn't be the same, obviously, without it.
I don't want you talking through your pocket. I just want, as an occasion, will Irish horses be there?
Yeah, I think
You're
they will.
Pretty confident.
I am, yeah. Crowds is another thing. There'll probably be members or whatever allowed in and some owners maybe, but... So the crowds will be very small or zero, but I think Irish horses will get there, yeah. And
Gavin is so confident that Irish horses are going to get there that he's even tipped an Irish trained horse this week. Yeah, is that right, Gavin?
Yeah.
And a nice price too, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that. How was your week?
Sure, quiet. The only time I left the house, I'd say, was to go for a walk or else to pick up the shopping. That was it.
Yeah.
You?
The walls are getting smaller, aren't they?
Yeah, look, you just have to find your own bit of time now and again.
Like, me and Aoife get on great now.
Good,
we'd have a very good relationship and we wouldn't fight that often, but there's been a few shouts now here and there. You know, could you not just go into the kitchen for a few minutes? Just give me a bit of peace.
When you build your new house next year, you'll be grand.
And I'm very loud. And I didn't realise this, and people will probably know. Like, if I rang somebody and I try to talk low, I'm still really loud. So if Georgia goes to bed, I'm on the phone and I invariably wake her.
Well, actually, usually when I ring you during the week, you go, hello, how are you?
It's so true. You have to whisper all the time, yeah. So there you go. That's our week.
Quiet week. But you look, at least we'd racing. We good racing on Saturday, and there's good racing this week. So just a bit of sport is what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said already, Gavin has a big priced Irish trained horse that he's tipping this week. So you want to find out what it is. So we better hurry up and get on with the show. So as always here on Upping The Ante, we kick off with our questions from the crowd. Yes, where you, the viewer, get to interact with myself and Gavin Lynch. Send us in your questions. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, any question you want answered, just send it in. And the first question this week comes in from Nick Every, and it's a good one, Gavin. Nick wants to know, if you could marry any horse, tell me why, okay? You have to spend the rest of your life with this horse and you have to put up with their quirks and imperfections.
It's probably the stupidest question we've ever had.
Stupidest question, but anyway, one of the best.
I've gone for Annie Power. Even though she let us everybody down and she fell in the mare's hurdle. I'll give you 4 reasons why.
4 reasons why you're going to marry Annie Power, okay?
We'll start with looks. She was
gorgeous.
Yeah. So she was good looking, even though she had a bit of a horse's head in her.
So you wouldn't mind waking up in the morning.
Number 2, she won
Annie?
So she won 700 grand, so presumably we'd have no mortgage.
Yeah. And what's hers is yours.
Yeah, well, sure.
So you get half, yeah.
And her ex-husband was rich. Richie. He was rich.
Worst joke ever.
And last one, this is good now, is that you know when you're dating, and
kind of forget.
So if myself and Annie Power were dating, what happens is, herself might say to you, "Come on, let's go and do something like go to a museum," and because you're dating, you don't want to go to any museum, but you have to go.
Yeah.
Or else she might say to you, "Come on, we'll go for a walk," and you say, "Oh Jesus."
Yeah. I actually like walking now. Yeah.
And she'd say, "Come on, we'll go climb Pro Patrick or whatever." The good thing about Annie Power is that when she'd say to you, "Come on, we'll go for a walk," the most she can go for a walk is 2.5 miles because she didn't stay 3 miles in the stairs hurdle. So there you go.
You put a lot of work into that question.
I did.
You put a lot of work into it. Nick will be
yours?
impressed. I didn't give it as much thought as you, but I went for Lady Rebecca.
Okay.
Now she's a bit old now, but I was thinking with Lady Rebecca, right? She only cost 500 quid, okay?
Right.
So anything she achieved was a bonus. She was a cheap purchase. Wasn't much to look at, okay? So you're never going to be in competition with your mates, because nobody's going to really want her, right?
Nobody's going to steal her on you.
But when it came to the big day, the Cleve Hurdle at Cheltenham, she looked $1 million. Excellent. So she can kind of scrub up well on the big days. And, nobody expects much of her. So you weren't expecting much. You didn't know what she was going to do, but then she turned out to be way better than you thought. So it's like kind of starting to date somebody maybe in school and then a geese turn into a swan maybe.
Okay.
There you go. I think your answer was better than mine.
We'll move on to the next question.
How was that, Nick? Our next question this week comes in from Tom Wooden. And Tom wants to know, what is the biggest prize winner we've ever backed? Singles only, no lucky 15s, no accumulators. Biggest price singles winner you've ever had?
Christmas Eve 2003, sitting at home bored. My brother's horse was running 2 days later in Kempton. And there was a new thing out. I just signed up to a thing called Betfair. and I had a look.
How did that turn out?
Never heard much of it since.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the RSA and it was 120 on the machine. I think it was 8 quid or 10 quid. And so I backed it because I thought if it wins on Stephen's Day or Boxing Day in Kempton, it'd be maybe 8 or 10 to 1 for the RSA. So I was beaten 16 lengths in Kempton by Strong Flow. Didn't look like an RSA horse, but as the season went on, it improved and it won the RSA 25 to 1, so I got me bet at 120.
And overall, how much would you have made out of Rule Supreme winning the RSA?
Oh, I don't know, because I remember in the first race that day, English Dreamer got beat in what's now the Ballymore, the Sunlights Novice Hurdle, and that was the biggest bet I'd ever had in my life. And I got a terrible ride to finish second. And
I remember the horse that beat it. It was a horse in Nigel Twist and Davis.
Yeah, it was, a long name.
Fundamentalist.
Well done. But English Dreamer, biggest bet I ever had, and I was sick. Should have won. And then short time later, Rule Supreme won, so the best day ever in the end.
That's racing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's up and
mine is not near as big as that, but I remember it so clearly. It was a horse called Idle First, that's trained by Venetia Williams, won the 2005 Coral Cup. It was 33 to 1, but I backed it on the tote over in Cheltenham, and it paid 45 to 1, and it paid 45.90 for a win on the tote, right? And I tell you why, right? I was in college at the time, I was only 19, okay? My dad and my dad's an identical twin, and him and his brother had turned 50. I think it's 50. How many years ago was 2005? He's like, he turned 50, right? So my mum and my auntie both got them presents of a trip to Cheltenham. And sure, I said I'd tag along with them. Now, I had been there as a kid. But anyway, it was my first proper year at Cheltenham. And it was the second day. Disaster the first day. Every horse I fancied didn't win. The second day was the famous Queen Mother Champion Chase where Moscow Flyer won. And I was mad on Well Chief. And Well Chief was only second. And I'd say I had about £27 left of the money I'd saved up. I had a job in college. I had about £27 left, and I think I put like £17 or £16 of that on Idle First, and it won at 45 to 1, and I ended up having the best Cheltenham ever.
Brilliant.
So Idle First was my biggest prize winner. 45 to 1. There you go. Our final question this week comes in from Jack Walsh, and he wants to know our early thoughts on who will be champion jockey at Cheltenham. He says he knows it's early, Gavin, but he fancies Patrick Mullins at a huge price. He's got Sharjah in the Champion Hurdle. He's got Mellon in either the Ryanair or the Gold Cup. He's got the favourite for the Foxhunters in Billaway, and he thinks he could be a bit of a dark horse.
I looked it up yesterday. He's 25 to 1, so that's okay value. Last year, Patrick had 4 seconds to my record. Sharjah appreciated Mellon and Billaway.
Yeah.
So he hit the crossbar. This year, as well as the ones you've mentioned, he also has Kilcrota, Ramilez for the bumper. He'll also have probably a good ride in the Kimure, and he'll have a good ride in the National Chase. So he will have a good book of rides, but I just couldn't see past Paul Townend.
I think you're right. Patrick would need to have... You need 5 now to win it.
Yeah, definitely 4. Last year, 5 won it for Paul against Barry also had 5. So, but this year, Paul Townend has...
Have you gone through his fancied rides?
Yeah.
Okay, so, here we go. If you're watching, Paul, this is what you have to look forward to.
So on the first day, you might say appreciate Energamine. I wrote down Concertista, but obviously Darryl Jacobs is going to be riding that. Day 2, Gallard de Menil, Monkfish is favourite, Shack Persois favourite, St. Sam is currently joint favourite, we'll say, for the Boodles, your horse.
That wins anyway, so that's 1 for him.
Thursday, you might have the big getaway, Dandy Mag, Main and Galwa, there's another 2 favourites.
Why are you giving them the big getaway? What, in the March?
Just if you run the March. French Seal, who's now trained by Willie Mullins. A big purchase recently, so Paul will be riding that. He's got Statler's favourite, Albion Photo's favourite, and presumably he'll have the favourite in the Mayor's Chase, whether it's Benny the Jew, Colreevy or Ellie May or one of those. So he's got roughly 9 favourites. Yeah. So to me, Paul, he's 5 to 4 favourite, but I think that's fair enough.
Price. He probably should be odds on.
He probably should be, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like obviously, you don't know when there's 9 weeks until the day and injuries or whatever, but I think odds against. It's a decent price.
If he's fit and well at the time, yeah, that's a bet.
And what happens if he doesn't make it? Do you get your money back? No. Okay, there you go. So. Okay, we're both Paul Townend fans in the champion jockey at Cheltenham Market. So now it's time for the week that was. Yes, the horses who have caught Gavin Lynch's eagle eye over the last 7 days. Now, usually this is a pretty long segment. We don't usually get out here until maybe Tuesday night until Gavin is finished. But Gavin, I suspect it's going to be...
it's shorter.
Shorter than usual.
It's shorter, yeah. Okay. It reminds me of the time my brother Fergus was best man at a wedding. He was a quiet chap at the time. And
at the time.
Yeah, at the time. He's a bit madder now. But he'd put a bit of time and effort into the speech because he was bricking himself. So he put a big start into it. He said, he got up and he says, as Henry VIII said to his first wife, I won't be keeping you long. And nobody laughed. So God love him.
I would have laughed if I was there.
His speech didn't go well. So last week we had no jumps race on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh no.
We had some bumpers on Friday, but I looked through them, there was nothing to talk about. So we're going to start on Saturday in Chepstow, and we're going to start with Adagio.
I love this horse.
Yeah,
I think he would win a normal year's Triumph. But this year, this just looks like it's...
Yeah, this year looks very, very good. He certainly looks the best British horse for the Triumph Hurdle, because I read yesterday that Monmoral of Paul Nicholls is going straight to Aintree. So
no interest in the Triumph,
Yeah, so Adagio is 9-1 for the Triumph. It beat another English-trained horse, Nasalam, easily by 2.5 lengths. It's now 9-1, as I said, for the Triumph. It was 4.5 seconds quicker than the handicap hurdle. It's now 3 out of 4 over hurdles. People that like Gordon Elliott horse for the Triumph will tell you that Dufflecoat beat it. But you're going to say that the tactics were wrong that day.
Yes, he hit the front too soon and didn't really know what to do. And it was a funny sort of day. The ground was a bit strange that day at Cheltenham, and he kind of kept wide onto the rail.
He did. He swung wide.
I don't know if it actually... Usually it does suit. I'm not sure if it suited that day. But the thing I like about Adagio is he's very professional now. He's got experience. He's professional. He's a slick jumper. Brilliant jump at the last. And again, as I said, any normal year without Zana here, he would have a massive chance.
Yeah, so I'd say Tom Scudamore will hold on to him for a late run in the Triumph.
Like he's your kind of countrywide flame style of
no, he's a good honest horse, and he's had 4 runs. Nasalam, he'll improve for the run as well. He stayed on very well in the last 50 yards when your man shot past him. But he's 14-1 for the Triumph. That was his first proper test because he had 2 solos around Fontwell, so I wouldn't totally discount Nasalam. On to the Welsh National, and just to tell you, Dave, I was absolutely delighted to see Evan Williams win the Welsh National.
You should get a part in Gavin and Stacey.
I should, yeah. Great programme. He's 16-1 for the National Hunt Chase. The chance are he's going for the Grand National in Aintree. I just wonder, would he maybe consider the National Hunt Chase? Because he is a novice. Now, last year he ran 3 times over fences and was beaten every time. So he's a second season novice, but he's still a novice.
Yeah.
So
great jumper.
Yeah, he'd have a chance in the National Hunt Chase.
What price is he?
He's 16-1 in one place that I seen. He won the Welsh National the other day of 134, so presumably he's going to be mid-140s because he did win very easy, even with the slip saddle.
Yeah.
On to Kempton on Saturday. Sage Advice, 33-1 for the Triumph. First time over hurdles, won by 6 lengths. It came over from Ireland, won the maiden in Cork over 10 furlongs. To me, it was quite impressive. A good time with 3:56. He jumped very well. Barbados Bucks was one of 7 winners for Paul Nicholls on Saturday.
What about me jockey? Harry Cobden.
Yeah.
Now, I know he got Master Tommy Tucker wrong at the last, right?
Yeah, he wasn't great at McFabulous either, but anyway.
Yeah, but he explained himself afterwards, so he explained himself afterwards. He was on the best horse in the race.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not think he's glorious?
He's brilliant. I just maybe a couple of rides on Saturday were a bit iffy, but yeah, he's brilliant. Brilliant. Barbados Bucks was beaten 9 lengths in a maiden hurdle in Stratford in October over 2.6, which would be miles off Cheltenham Farm. But since then, he's won 3 in a row, 2 at Southwell or Southwell, and he won the other day. He's 20-1, best price with Bet365 for the Albert Bartlett.
Could see him running well.
Yeah, he jumps very well. McFabulous is 14-1 for the Stairs, but the chances are he'll go for the Aintree hurdle. I doubt he'll go to the Stairs. Do you?
No, but he's a very good horse, Gavin.
Very good horse, yeah.
I think he was unfairly criticised for the Newbury run because, you know, he was stepping up in trip. He was bang there at the last. He didn't quite stay, but he's a young enough horse that's getting
I'd imagine
better.
Aintree would suit him better, flat track.
Yeah, would, yeah. And even Harry Cobden was interviewed after the race and he said he ran at Cheltenham in a bumper, I think, and disappointed, and he's not quite sure whether Cheltenham is his track.
And presumably Harry won't have him 6 or 8 wide in Aintree. Master Tommy Tucker is 25-1 for the Ryanair, a horse that you love. He beat Clondalk Castle by 12 lengths. Just to tell you, his 6 wins in his career have come with the following number of runners in races, just to keep it in mind. So, the first day he won had 10, then 7, 7, 2, 6 and 4. So he loves small fields.
Yeah, when he can dominate, yeah.
He ain't going to dominate no Ryanair.
No, and he's not, but he's a good horse. Like, he's a type of horse I could see running really well in a Betfair Chase next year. Yeah. That type of thing. I think he's a flat track kind of bully.
Yeah, similar to McFabulous. I'd imagine he'll go straight to Aintree. I don't think he'll go to the Ryanair.
McFabulous you can put him in a double now with a Styria Phalange, you fancy for King George.
Yeah.
McFabulous will win the Cotto Star Novice Chase next year.
Okay. Yeah. Imperial Aura, it was a bit strange to watch. Just simply dived the second fence. Now, you could maybe guess that it was into the sun or something, I don't know, but that's not an ideal prep for a Ryanair. 7-1 for the Ryanair Chase. On to Wing Canton on Sunday. Daryl Jacob, I think, had 5 winners. One of them was Messire de Zobo, who beat Protectorat by 4 3/4 lengths. Very nice performance. Messire de Zobo was a 9-year-old, had been off for a couple of years. Decent time, 2 seconds quicker than Capeland. Wouldn't be screaming a winner of the Marsh, would it?
No, I don't even know if he'll go, to be honest. You know, he's had so many problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But what What a day for Daryl Jacob.
Yeah, fair play.
His ride on his final winner, I can't remember the name of it now, but that horse was 20 lengths behind at the first fence. Like, looked like winning nowhere. And all of a sudden, it's amazing when things go for you on a day.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like when you're playing golf, you can't, even if your swing is crap and you're going well.
All of a sudden you chip in and you start playing well again.
And things kind of click for you, but brilliant. Like 3 of as good a rides as you'd see that day.
Very good. One horse to mention maybe for a handicap is Capeland. His previous 9 runs were over 2 miles. On Saturday he ran over 2.5. To me, he won very, very well off 149. He just could be a sneaky one for the Brown Advisory.
Okay.
And the last horse to mention, Sunday in Exeter, Bear Gills is now 4 from 4.
Yeah.
He's 3 from 3 over hurdles.
This horse has an engine now.
Yeah, he does. He's just a bit of a clumsy jumper. He had 3 or 4 mistakes. He won off 130 by 5 lengths.
Did you see him win this bumper in Warwick last year?
No.
Oh, Lord. Bless and save us. Have a look.
Really?
Oh.
So he definitely is an engine, yeah. I'd imagine he'd be up to somewhere around 140 after that. He's 20 to 1 for the Ballymore, 25 to the Bartlett, 25 to 1 for the Coral Cup, 25 to 1 for the Martin Pipe, 16 to 1 to end up on a desert island living off coconuts in a stable he made from twigs and bamboo. And that's the week that was.
What a way to finish the week that was. So each week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the big races at the Cheltenham Festival. And this week it is the turn of the mind-boggling Albert Bartlett, where it is 12 to 1 the field with Bet365. Currently, Statler, tipped up by none other than Gavin Lynch last week at 16 to 1, is currently their 12 to 1 favourite, 4 points shorter. It is 14 to 1 Brave Man's Game. It is 20 to 1 a few others, which brings in Ashdale Bob and Ngolo and Appreciate It, and a few others who mightn't go for the race. So we don't know exactly what's going to go for the race, but Gavin, you think you've got this sorted?
I don't, Dave. It's as you say, it's a bit of a mess of the race at the moment.
Have you ever known a Cheltenham Ante-Post market to be in such array at this stage of the season after Christmas?
Yeah, like you're already into the second week of January, and it's 20 to 1 bar 1 really, because Brave Man's Game ain't going to go here.
No.
Appreciate ain't going to go here. Barbados Bucks that won on Saturday he's 20s. He'd have a bit of a chance. Ngolo probably won't go here. She's only been running over 2 mile and 2 mile 2, so he won't.
It's Willie though. Willie could do anything.
He could. Ashdale Bob is due to run this Wednesday, tomorrow, in the Lawlers and Ace. And to be honest with you, yesterday I had a bit of a savour on him.
That's funny that you said that now. I was just saying, when we went through this market, the one horse who looks overpriced on his form, which has worked out really well, which brings in wide receiver and shadow rider and those type of horses, his form is working out well. Ashdale Bob is kind of not a forgotten horse, but it's just where he's come from. Second season hurdler.
Yeah.
I think he's overpriced.
Yeah, he was very impressive both days in Navan, I suppose, really, to beat wide receiver and then to win the last day. I just could see him finishing second or third in the Lawlers and Ace, and maybe they might consider going to the Bartlett. There's a few others to mention. Cape Gentleman, the winner, Cesarewicz. I don't know where he's going to go. He could go Ballymore or Bartlett, but he's not a bad horse. Fakira would stay all day. He's 25 to 1.
Right profile for the race as well. Yeah. Loads of runs.
Holy Macapony was very impressive, beating Gallard de Menil and Punchestown. The last day it pulled up. Now, he's 33 to 1. He was favourite for this race, so if you could forgive him that run, he might have a chance.
He nearly could. Like, his form has worked out brilliantly.
Yeah. Sace Gold, a gorgeous mare who won over 3 mile in Cork. The last day, within 2 weeks, they stepped her down to 2 miles, which was a mistake. If she showed up, she's a decent horse.
Good jumper as well, yeah.
Cross Hill for the owner, same as Statler, owned by Ronnie Bartlett. Cross Hill was very impressive, over 2.5. Again, stepped down to 2 mile, which was a mistake. I think that's due to run the Lawlers and Ace as well. So that's 40 to 1 for the Bartlett. Streets of Diane for John McConnell. Make Good this week was announced that it's a non-runner for Cheltenham, so that might have a chance. And Fighter Allen is 40 to 1. It pulled up in Navan too. So I'm just saying, there's lots of horses that could come into it yet.
Okay, but last week you were very, very sweet on Statler. So for people that didn't see, and even people that want to be reminded, tell them why you're so sweet in Statler. I backed him a couple of times in bumpers. He looked quite slow over 2 mile. He did win a bumper. He then gets beaten Nace when I think maybe Willies weren't, to their max ability in November. The last day in Leopardstown, he beat a very good mare over 2.5, and I timed it from the third last of the line against Sharjah and against Concertista. The time compared very favourably with those. It was roughly the same as those two. I think it'll definitely go for the race. I think it'll definitely stay, so it jumps great. I think it's got a great chance, yeah. At the moment, is Statler one of your big winners at Cheltenham?
Yeah, him, Galvin and Gallard de Menil probably my 3 biggest winners.
So if those 3 won, we mightn't see you next year for Upping The Ante. You'll be retired in Barbados.
I'd be happy if one of them won. But I had a savoury yesterday in Ashdale Bob. I like to do that, so.
Yeah, okay. So Statler with a saver on Ashdale Bob for Gavin Lynch. And I think Ashdale Bob will be interesting to see how he gets on tomorrow.
It will.
And this is a very, this is a tip that we're given at a big enough price that could be gone tomorrow, like if it runs terrible. But I think he's underrated, underestimated, and has got loads of ability.
The biggest problem you have with the Albert Bartlett is figuring out who's going to go for the race, because the Ballymore is 2.5, the Bartlett's only 3 furlongs further, so there's always a kind of a crossover.
And the only thing we will say, there was this theory that the Albert Bartlett is for, slow horses that need loads and loads of runs, loads of experience, that are battle hardened. And then in the last 2 years, you're kind of going, well, Manila Indo won it, and Monkfish, who are future chasers that were minded.
Yeah. I'd imagine Statler will go for the novice hurdle and Thurles that Monkfish won last year. I think it's maybe 2.6 or something like that. So
that's what you're hoping.
I'd say hopefully he goes there, yeah. So, but it's a very, very open race, and it's actually a tough race for punters traditionally.
It certainly is. That is the Albert Bartlett. So what you want to know now is what's happening this week. And because we had postponed meetings at the weekend, it's to our advantage now, Gavin, because on Wednesday we have a midweek treat at Naas. We've got the Grade 1 Lawlers of Naas Novice Hurdle, the race, of course, that Envoy Alain won last year. And it's a corker, Gavin.
Corker, yeah. This will shed some light, hopefully, on the Ballymore and maybe even the Bartlett.
And there's a few of your guilty pleasures in here.
Yeah. Bob Ollinger, I think, is 6-4. Blue Lord, your fancy for the Supreme, who's now stepping up on trip, is 3-1. Ashdale Bob is 3-1, 7-2. Cross Hill. It's a good race.
It is a good race. Okay, Bob Ollinger.
Yeah. Look, he looked magic in Gorham Park in a good time. He then was second to Fernie Hollow, only beaten maybe a length or roughly that. And then in Navan the last day, he won a bad race by a distance, yeah.
Yeah, and hit the line hard. Rachel struggled to pull him up.
Yeah.
Good horse.
Yeah, very, very good horse. Tomorrow is going to be his derby, isn't it?
And of course, Blue Lord, the horse that Blue Lord beat, I think it's Julie Stowaway, who runs today at Fairy House.
This afternoon,
but I think Blue Lord is better than the Bear Form. Even if Julie Stowaway is beaten, I think this is a horse that's probably improved since then. Yeah,
I think that basically every Willie Mullins horse that run every November, I think they improve a lot by the time they get to this time of the year. So
I think this is a good horse. Yeah. Now, obviously, for me, to tip him up at 33s for the Supreme, I hope he tanks to the last and doesn't quite get home.
Yeah.
But I think he'll probably win this.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a bet in it yet. I'm just, I think there's 8 runners, so if you get 7-2 or 4-1 Blue Lord, that could be an each way bet.
I think so, yeah. And Ashdale Bob, as we said already, we think he'll run a big race here, but mightn't just quite be good enough. Yeah,
sure. We'll see. It was certainly impressive the last twice, but it's a good race. There's also good novice chase.
Yes, Energamine. We'll finally get to see how good Energamine is.
Energamine, Captain Guinness, and Blackbow. There's only 4 runners in.
I fancy Blackbow.
Do you?
Yeah, I think Blackbow is a very good horse.
I just can't still get over the fact that he couldn't win a maiden hurdle.
But Gavin, come on now.
No, I'm
What's
not
gone is gone. You gave me advice last week when we were walking out of the show. You said, you can't be thinking about what's gone. You have to look to the future.
His best chance if Energamine and Captain Guinness take each other on, that would really suit him. Because he was held up the last day Blackbow when he fell.
He was, yeah. And he actually, I don't know how he fell because he popped over his fences perfectly well. He just slithered on landing.
Yeah, I think I'll back Energamine.
Will you?
I'd say so.
Okay, well, Paul Townend agrees with you, but I think Blackbow is a good horse. That is the Novice Chase, which always throws up big winners. On to the weekend, we've got the Danmore at Fairy House.
Yeah, the price I've seen, Chatham Street Lad is up £10. He won in Cheltenham off 141. He runs on Saturday off 151. He's 7-2. The Shunter is 5-1. He's off a very, very low weight. I think he's got a great chance, but his jumping needs to improve. His jumping in Cork the last day was very, very poor. Size and Potsy, that's due to run today. Front View, his jumping's not good enough. And Tukas, to me, looks like a Grand Annual horse.
He is a Grand Annual horse in Tukas, yeah.
Yeah, good race. Pont Avon, 14-1. He ran a cracker at Christmas. This trip mightn't be far enough. I'd love to see Pont Avon over 2.5 miles.
Okay, one for the notebook.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, Pont Avon.
And then Warwick.
Yeah, there's good racing at Warwick, and the Classic Chase is on, and Dan and Harry Skelton are having a terrific season.
Yeah.
I think they could have another big Saturday winner, Gavin. I fancy Captain Chaos. He is only, I think, £2 higher than when second in the race last year. And to me, it's just a track that really suits. Warwick is a funny track. The fences, before you turn into the straight, come at you. There's 3 or 4 of them that come at you thick and fast. And he pinged them last year, went a real good pace. I can see Harry popping him out a few lengths in front.
Yeah, certainly have to jump well there anyway.
Yeah, he was a double figure price. I think he's been well backed. But Captain Chaos for me in the Classic Chase. Leamington Novice Hurdle, I like Make Me a Believer for David Pipe and Tom Scudamore. Obviously had their first Grade 1 winner in a long time since Moonracer won the bumper at Chepstow on Saturday. I liked Make Me a Believer at Cheltenham. He beat Any News of Neil Mulholland's, who I think is a good horse. And to me, He looks a real improver. It's just going to keep improving throughout the season. So I'll go for Make Me a Believer in that. And there is a novice chase on the card, a grade 2 as well.
Yeah.
And if they all stand their ground, that's going to be an absolute cracker. Next Destination is favourite at the moment. Happy Go Lucky is in there. And Dickie Diver, who I am dying to put up as one of my selections for Cheltenham. I just don't know what race he's going to go for. Yeah, I think he'll probably go for the Kim Muir, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe.
And he could be different class to them.
He could. He ran okay last year. The only thing I'd say to
I like the way he jumped.
Yeah, he was very keen early, wasn't he?
He's keen anyway. He's always keen.
Is he going to stay 3 mile 2 in the Kim Muir?
Being keen?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd sooner have him in the Burn Plate. But.
Yeah. He's very interesting.
And then on to Sunday in Punchestown.
Yeah, there's a decent horse runner. I forget his name. What's it called?
Tommy Allen.
Envoy Alain.
Envoy Alain.
Is running on Sunday.
Yes. Now, can we do a Dear Santa?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Dear Santa.
January, but you're a bit early.
The entries aren't out till this afternoon, so we don't know. But Dear Santa.
I have no idea what's coming next year.
Can we please have a race between Envoy Alain and Asterion Forlange on Sunday in Punchestown?
Oh, really? Oh.
I've no idea, but I would just love to see it. Asterion Forlange only got to halfway in Limerick.
Yeah.
If they don't run Asterion Forlange,
got me excited now.
If they don't run Asterion Forlange this Sunday, they're hardly going to run him in Leopardstown at the big meeting at the end of the month.
Yeah.
He needs to have another run either before, if he goes to Cheltenham, which maybe he won't, or before he goes to, say, Ferias for the Grade 1 at Easter. I would just...
That's exciting, isn't it?
To me, it'd be the race of the season if the two of them jumped well. And
so
just make sure
next year's King George winner running against the Marsh winner, who's unbeaten. Oh, that's a car.
Just make sure you're at home on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's at 1:20 on Sunday, but maybe it won't happen, but I would just... To me, I'd pay money to watch that.
Okay, I just presumed we'd be going, Envoy Allen will probably be 1 to 10 running against nothing. But now I'm proper excited. And who would win, Gavin?
Now, the only thing I'll say is that
You're hesitating.
Envoy Alain should win. But one thing to keep in mind is that Gordon Elliott, when it ran in the Lawlers and Ace last year and won it, Gordon Elliott said afterwards that the horse wasn't fully fit and stuff like that. So I'd say Asterion Forlange might have a fitness edge. So I don't think it'd be a cakewalk, but I would imagine Envoy Alain himself should win.
I hope so. Himself.
And we've also got the Moscow Flyer Novice Hurdle, Grade 2 over 2 mile. Traditionally a very, very good race. Has produced plenty of good winners. We don't know the entries yet, but usually a very good race.
Yeah, well, you have a few for that anyway.
So there's actually some great racing this week.
Yeah, that's what's happening this week. Now, Upping The Ante viewers, given the current climate, given lockdown, you might be able to get out of the house to buy a hard copy of the Racing Post newspaper, but you've got to join Racing Club Ultimate because the night before, 9 o'clock, you can get a digital version of the Racing Post, all the information, the newspaper at your fingertips. Members Club Ultimate of the Racing Post. That's what you get. You get the digital version, Gavin, and you can get the Racing and Football Outlook. You can get the Weekender and any other special editions we have digitally. And don't forget, if you're a Racing Post Ultimate member, Gavin, you can watch all replays of UK and Ireland tracks, both Ireland and England. It's the only place you can get replays of those, and you can get brilliant tips from the phenomenal, they're better than us, aren't they? Tom Siegel and Paul Keeley.
Only at table tennis.
Yeah, very good at table tennis to pair them. So there you go. You've got to become a Racing Post Ultimate member, especially in these times. Okay, so just before we get on to our latest selections for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival, we're going to have a look at our Ante-Post Portfolios, and what we decided to do was pick out what we think is our best 5 tips so far. Okay, Gavin? Okay. So what are your 5 best tips so far?
I'll go for Zana here at 6 to 1.
Yeah. You've done plenty now before you tipped them. Go on.
I think that Envoy Alain and Honeysuckle in a double of 12.5 to 1 is good.
Yeah.
And then Concertista 5 to 1.
Concertista at the time I thought was ridiculous, and now I think it's remarkable.
If I don't get the winner of the Mayor's Hurdle, I think I'm going to struggle.
Yeah.
I think the Boss's Oscar at 8 to 1 is good value.
Yes.
And then either Statler or Gallard Duminil last week, I think both of them are rock solid.
Yeah, absolutely. They're 5. Mine would be Brave Man's Game, be number 1. Yep. 20s for the Ballymore now, a rock solid favourite for the Ballymore. We're going to have to throw in Colreevy, 16 to 1 for the Mayor's Chase. Happy with that. Saint Sam. Saint Sam is
I see they pushed them back out to 14s, I think, since.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's not good.
No, but it's bet 3-6-5 for a play.
Okay. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I really like.
I can see that happening.
Like him, Saint Sam. And obviously, I'm going to have to throw Mr. Fisher in here. Put up at 33 to 1.
Yeah.
I still think he's got a big chance in the. What race he go? In the Ryanair. Yeah, I think so. They'd be my best one so far, I think, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's the usual mix. Every year, we're trying to pick out horses that are good value. We haven't gone for too many 2 to 1 shots.
Who do you think is the better list? It's pretty even, I'd say.
I think it's even, yeah. I think we're both kind of 6 or 7 out of 10.
Right, okay. Okay.
You have a couple of great ones. I don't have many great ones, but I have some good ones.
Yeah. I think that you're solid. Like, you're going to get your couple of winners. I just might get one big one.
I had a couple of injuries and stuff. But anyway, that's Ante-Post betting for you.
That is Ante-Post betting. And what you want to know now is what we're tipping Ante-Post this week. So it's Ante-Post Picks time. And Gavin has tipped one more horse than me. So I have 2 this week and Gavin has 1 to even it up. But from now till the Cheltenham Festival, we're going to have 1 each, okay? Because it's getting tricky, Gavin.
It is.
It's getting tricky. So will I start because I have 2?
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, mine this week are... 1 is very much price related. And 1 is a horse I can't believe I'm tipping.
Okay.
But after studying yesterday, I decided that I was going to tip her. So I'm going to start off. My first tip this week is in the Gold Cup.
The Gold Cup.
Because it's just the wrong price, Gavin.
Okay.
It's Delta Work in the Gold Cup. Because it shouldn't be 33 to 1. And it's wrong that the horse is 33 to 1. It shouldn't be 33 to 1. It should never be 33 to 1 in a race. And it's not going to be 33 to 1 on the day.
Okay.
So that's why I'm tipping Delta Work in the Gold Cup, okay? I went back and I watched the Savage Chase at Christmas, okay? And he obviously fell, I think, at around about the 7th fence.
Yeah, it was a simple sort of a...
Yeah, he actually jumped the fence. Now, he didn't jump it great, but he actually was fine. And then he kind of stumbled a stride after the fence, okay? Obviously, Sean Flanagan was riding. Before that, I actually thought he had given an exhibition. He jumped brilliantly. There's an aerial shot from one of the drones at Leopardstown where he jumps what would usually be the 3rd last on the first circuit. And he took lengths out of a couple of his horses. He took lengths out of Sam Crow at the fence. And to me, I just think with Delta Work, you go back to that RSA where he was beaten by Santini on top of the game, where things went wrong, and Jack obviously is the key to him. Okay?
Jack is the key,
and Jack missed Cheltenham, the riding him in Cheltenham last year, and everybody thinks that Jack is the key. So if Jack is the key, if Jack is riding in the Irish Gold Cup where he has to go next, he thrives on racing. If he went and repeated his Irish Gold Cup win, what price is he going to be for
Actually, he'd be 10, 12 to 1, yeah?
Yeah, I just think on the day he's going to be a 10 to 1 shot. Now, he mightn't be good enough, and you see these younger horses coming through, and Albin Fote was going for 3 in a row, and perhaps this might look ridiculous. When we're looking at the tips afterwards, you see Delta Work if he runs bad in the Irish Gold Cup. But right now, right here, Delta Work is not a 33 to 1 shot. His form does stack up. He's beaten Kenboy, obviously, and Aplutar, who beat Kenboy, is now a third of the price that Delta Work is. I think he went off 5 to 1 last year in the Gold Cup.
I can't remember, yeah.
5 or 6 to 1. 6 to 1 max he went off in last year's Gold Cup. He hit basically every fence. Everything went wrong, and he was only beaten a couple of
It wasn't
lengths.
Mark Walsh's fault, but he's just a horse you have to know.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think so, yeah. And a bit of daylight on the outside, which it's hard to do, but Don Cossack won a Gold Cup that way. And I think 33 to 1 Delta Work is too big of a price.
Okay.
Now, I know you don't fancy it, but do you see my point?
No, I could certainly see him finishing, in the first 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Is he going to win? Maybe
I
not.
know, but he's 33 to 1.
Your point is well made. He's overpriced. Yeah.
He's the one overpriced horse in the Gold Cup. And I think Delta Work, get involved now, because I think come the day you're going to have a nice price.
But certainly he likes Leopardstown, so if he performed well the next day,
yeah,
he
loves Cheltenham as well. Gavin, he's a Cheltenham Festival winner after all. So Delta Work, my first selection this week in the Gold Cup at 33 to 1. And my second selection, I'm going for the biggies this week, Gavin, is in the Champion Hurdle.
Okay.
It's in the Champion Hurdle. I still think Epatante is the most likely winner, but obviously her price, on this show, we're not going to be tipping her at that price for the Champion Hurdle 9 weeks beforehand. So I went through the race yesterday. Now I spent time on this.
Okay.
Plenty of time, okay? And I came up with, at home, I came up with Aspire Tower.
Aspire Tower.
Aspire Tower, who going into the Matheson Hurdle, I wasn't fancying at all for the Matheson Hurdle or the Champion Hurdle because I didn't think he was good enough, and I thought maybe the race at Down Royal was a flash in the pan maybe. And then I went back to last year and the early stages of last season when he won that hurdle race at Christmas by 18 lengths.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really, really good performance. And then he fell at the last in the Grade 1 at the Dublin Racing Festival when I think he probably would have won. I think he would have pulled out.
Probably, yeah.
Would have won. Everything went wrong at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
He jumped like he'd never seen a hurdle before. And that is not Aspire Tower. He's with Henry de Bromhead. Comes out this year. Very, very impressive. First time out in the WKD hurdle at Down Royal. And last time, I just wonder if he went a little bit quicker. I think he loves going flat out from the word go. I think he's that type of horse. He likes to race on the edge. And that's when his best performance have come. He was beaten by Sharjah. There's no shame in finishing second to Sharjah in Cheltenham. In Leopardstown. I think he's lightly raced. He's getting better. And I spoke to Henry de Bromhead yesterday for a piece that I'm doing. And he said the horse looks magnificent. He said he's really filling out into his frame now. Okay. He's only finding himself now. And I just think 14 to 1 Aspire Tower. After that run at Leopardstown, knowing what he did in the early part of last season, it is hard for 5-year-olds, but I just think he could be getting better.
Yeah, and he made a mistake 3 out and 2 out.
He did.
So
yeah.
His jumping would want to get a bit better. As you said, 5-year-old's record in the race is not magic.
No. They have won it though.
They have.
Yeah. Catch it, Espoir d'Allen.
Yeah.
So
can happen. The one thing I think to keep in mind is the pace in the race. Not So Sleepy, Aspire Tower, Silver Streak and Goshen.
Yeah. I think that suits Aspire Tower though. I think he wants to go fast.
Yeah. So you think he's okay if he's at second or third?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah, doesn't need to lead. Sit second or third, fast pace. I think he'll relish the hill. Don't think he was the horse he is in the Triumph Hurdle last year. He's a better horse than that. And at 14 to 1, do you know what? I went through the prices and I said that's a little bit of value.
Okay.
So Aspire Tower and Delta Work are added to my Ante-Post portfolios at Cheltenham. 14 to 1 and 33 to 1. Two nice prices, Gavin.
Yeah, as usual. You like going for good value there, in fairness to you.
Okay, so now this is what people are watching for, Gavin. The floor is yours. They're sick of me talking about Delta Work and Aspire Tower. They want to know the real winners, and you think you have one.
Tell me this, quick question for you. Do you think that Horse and Willie Mullins' yard have access to iPads or smartphones?
I don't.
Okay, that's good. Because
why?
I don't want Billaway to find out that what I'm about to do.
You're not doing the dirt and Billaway.
Yeah, doing the dirt.
You are not.
Yeah. So
if I was Amory, I'd be very worried because if you're doing the dirt and Billaway, there's no way of knowing how this is going to stop.
I'm afraid that Billaway will never talk to me again. I'm going for It Came to Pass in the Foxhunters.
To do the double.
Yeah. 12 to 1 at the moment with Bet365. I have a little bee in me bonnet about people and prices and stuff. Bet365, if you have an account with them, you're a very, very lucky person because they brilliant prices, guaranteed in multiples and singles and so on. It's 12 to 1 at the moment. I backed the horse at 10 to 1. If you get 12 to 1 today or you get 10 to 1 tomorrow, it's still a good price, I think. So I wouldn't complain too much if the 12s goes or if it stays at 10 to 1.
And as you say, they are top prices on a lot of horses at Cheltenham.
They are, and I looked last Friday. I think they pushed out the price on 100 horses at Cheltenham last Friday.
Your life, Gavin.
No, but there's 28 races. They definitely pushed out the price on more than 5 horses in each race.
Are you like ticking horses?
No, I just went through Oddschecker as I do every couple of days, and
blue,
I just
red,
that they had pushed out a lot of horses. So I think fair play to them.
So back to that's all I know.
It Came to Pass. It won 3 points on Hunters Chase. And here's one for you. In April 2019, it beat a certain horse called Billaway by 7.5 lengths in Cork.
He did?
It beat On the Fringe then in May 2019 in Killarney. It beat Wrong Citizen in Cork in November 2019. In last December and January, it ran 2 bad races.
Is that why it was 66 to 1?
Yeah. In December and January, as I said, it ran terribly on deep ground.
Okay. But
it has done that in the past. Now at Cheltenham in the Foxhunters, the ground actually was soft. Now, if the ground, this year the festival is 6 days later than it was last year. The Foxhunters obviously on the Friday. If the ground was soft or better, I think he's got a massive chance.
Okay.
I'd only worry if the ground was heavy. Last year the ground was soft. He won by 10 lengths. It was the second biggest margin of victory at the festival. Concertista won by 12. It Came to Pass won by 10. If you look at the race again, Billaway didn't jump well, right? I backed Billaway. And Billaway never looked like winning. But at the top of the hill...
Billaway stopped watching, that's all I know.
At the top of the hill, there's only one horse winning the Foxhunters. And It Came to Pass bolted up. The horse that it beat, Billaway was second, third was Shantou Flyer, fourth was Staker Wallace, and fifth was Manila Rocco, right? It then returned in November on soft to heavy ground, which it doesn't like, at Fairyhouse, beaten 20 lengths.
Ran
a nice race. I'd say they were
bang there at second last.
Beaten by Stand Up and Fighting Billaway. So at the moment, the score against Billaway is 2-1. Billaway is 4-1. It Came to Pass is 12-1.
3 times the price.
If they were both 7-1, I might go for Billaway. I've actually backed the two of them, right? But I think 12-1 is too big. He's won 6 of his last 11 starts. The 5 times he got beat, 2 unseats, and the other 3 because of deep ground. The horse that I mentioned that were second, third, fourth, and fifth, and himself, they're all at the top of the market again. There's no new horse.
Same sort of race.
Same race. There's only one horse, maybe Red Indian, who's bolted up twice in 2 points. But it's basically the same field again. It Came to Pass is 11. 3 out of the last 5 winners are 11. It's the only race in Cheltenham where age doesn't matter. So don't let 11-year-old put you off. It's not a negative. And also in repeat winners, Salsify did it 2012 and 13.
Ah, come on now.
On the Fringe, 2015 and 16.
You're using...
Passion de Polder, 2017 and 18.
You're using Salsify. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're going to say. But I'm just saying, there's 3 horses.
Salsify was second now, come on.
3 horses in the last 10 years have done the double. I think he can do the double.
Happen, yeah.
I rang, this is what we do for Upping The Ante viewers. Last Wednesday, I rang Richie Forrestal. I said, Richie, is there any chance you could find out about It Came to Pass, ring Eugene O'Sullivan down beside you in Cork? So he says, I will, yeah, I'll find out. So he got...
you just did your part in Richie's voice.
He got Brian Sheeran, who was excellent, to contact them. There was a piece done in the paper on Friday because they made inquiries. He said the horse in great form. He was
very positive, yeah.
He was due to run the 20th of December. He was a bit lame that morning, didn't run. He's running in a point-to-point at the end of the month. The horse in great form. He's working brilliant, so no negatives. So to me, 12-1, I think is...
So people watching this, I'd say at the start of the show, if we mentioned it came to pass, they would have said, fluke, 6-6-1. It happens every so often, Cheltenham. It's not a fluke, you're saying.
I don't think it is. Particularly if the ground is good to soft or soft, I think he's got a huge chance.
There you go. So it came to pass. 12-1 Bet365 for the Foxhunters is Gavin Lynch's latest selection for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. So folks, that's it for episode 10. Can you believe we have 10 done of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365? Gavin, did you enjoy it?
Sure, grand, yeah.
Did you? Do you still enjoy it? Like, we're 10 weeks in. Do you still get as much of a kick out of it?
It's good to get out of the house on a Tuesday at the minute, anyway.
It is, yeah. It's the highlight of my week. It's the highlight of yours.
Yeah, sure, probably is. The highlight of my week would be if Envoy and Asterion Forlans took each other on. Fingers crossed that might happen. I don't know.
That might happen.
It'd be great if it did. That's what we need.
And do you know what we'll do then, Gavin? We will talk about it here next Tuesday.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say we might even do 10. Okay. So don't forget, we're with you every Tuesday from now until the Cheltenham Festival. There's only 9 weeks to go. Enjoy your week.